Ad Victorium. Is it going to be a win or a bin? Let's have a quick read through of the description on Steam. And actually, I will just let you have a look at the description on Steam because I want to show you a couple of things from this page before I show you some of the game footage. Ad Victorium lets you experience large-scale immersive battles and lead Caesar's legions to victory in a ground-breaking simulator. You can start up custom battles or play a full strategy game as you conquer Gaul and establish the Roman Empire. This game isn't out yet. I believe it's going to be released probably the end of January, I think I read, where I get my keys from. Whether or not that's the case or not, because you can see here it's showing to be announced still. But anyway, that aside, what I wanted to show you was the minimum spec. Now, I fit in within the minimum. I've got a 1060 graphics card. This looks quite powerful for the screenshots. Now, the only thing I can think of is the fact that there's a lot of units on the ground, and it does seem to be the case, so I kind of get that. I fit in with everything else. I mean, I've got that, and I've got that. That's absolutely fine. It's just this. But I think I know why. But you'll see maybe why it isn't justified, but you can make your own mind up. But I'll just show you some of the footage of that now. So yeah, this is the opening screen. So what I will do first is I'll just whack it on high. And so you pick the enemy army. I don't know who half of these guys are, but we'll stick with Caesar. And on here you can choose how many of each division you want. So one of those will give you 4,800, and you can just see what you end up with. Now, I'll just pick a couple. I don't want it to go over the top. I don't know what these represent, and that is something. It would be quite good if there was a way of knowing what these actually are without having the prior knowledge. So what unit types are they? Ranged, horses, spears, shielded, peasants, whatever. You know, I don't know what they are. So yeah, I'm just going to literally pick anything. I don't know if they change the same units for all of the leaders. But anyway, we'll pick Meadow because it's just there. So this is high graphics. Oh, this is the first screen, sorry, that you come to before the battle. So this is quite cool. I can see how this could be quite good for planning if you knew what these units were. But you can decide where to put them in terms of on the map and the positions there. And you can get them to do different commands. You'll see in the game there's two commands that you can do using an icon, and you can get them to charge. There's no tooltip there either. Hold, flank. But yeah, you can get them to do all sorts. So we'll leave it as that. I'm not going to get too in depth with the game mechanics because, to be honest with you, I think that does need to be improved on the get-go because there's no explanation as to what anything really is. But you'll see how this is struggling. Now, I completely get that the game recommends that I use a much better graphics card, which is fine because there's a lot of units to render. However, I don't think it looks particularly amazing. I mean, fine if it looks nice, and it's struggling, okay, but it's struggling and it looks a bit crappy, I hate to say. And if you try and move, it's a bit rubbish. All of your units, if you come around and try and face your... Oh god, they're running towards us. Oh, I didn't realise. I was going to say, if you try and engage with your units, they just turn away from you. They don't want to know you. Look at this guy. Look, they turn away from you. Like, they don't even look at you. That's all a bit weird. But anyway, so yeah, these buttons down here, they'll engage. So these ones here will engage the whole of your army. So either the command 1 or command 2. If you press that once, they'll do the first command, all of it. So that's why you can do things en masse. Press it again, they'll do the second command. This one just gets everyone to attack in one go. That one is everyone run away. This one, depending on where you're stood, you can either get them to rally, fight, defend. Don't know what that one is. Can't remember. Flank, maybe. Not entirely sure. But let's just get everyone to attack. Why not? So we've got more units up the hill down there, come charging forwards. And the game, you can see, is really struggling. But I kind of get it. Although I would expect things like this grass a little better. There's no landscape other than just hills, no buildings, no smoke. It's not great. You do have a little help up here, just explains those things I just said to you. And you do have a weapon which you can use, but I'll show you in a moment when I try and do the lower graphics to give you a better idea of it running smoothly, which I'll do for you now. Okay, so we're going to set this back to low. And we'll just pick a handful of things. I'm not that bothered. At this point, say the learning curve might be to understand what they do. And let's just pick some places to put them. Yes, I could research these, but I could do with a little bit more help. The intelligence report's a bit duff, like you don't know their positioning or anything like that, which I think you'd get even back in Roman times. They had scouts, you'd know. So much smoother. You can run around. Things look okay for low graphics. These guys are the units I'm in, so let's get some of them to run on this side. All the other weak people should stay still, which they actually do, so it works. That's great. But there's nothing on here to indicate anything. There's no colours to indicate the progress of the war. There's no text to indicate who's fighting. Let's chuck everyone in. There's nothing. You can't do much more. And yes, you've got the help guide up there, which I just showed you. But that's it. I mean, this obviously is not a fully released game. And it is a battle simulator, although it does advertise a campaign, which of course can come later. And I know this isn't complete. It's just to give us an idea of the feel of the game, the mechanics of the game, what it's supposed to do. That line is far too straight for a battle. Look, it just looks like they're queuing at Tesco's. But yeah, look, it's just taking turns at the enemy. And if we just go and get involved ourselves, you can do attacks. We have a little spear. But again, there's no idea of... It's inconsistent. I'm hitting spacebar and just doesn't do anything. It's like you have to be stood in a very specific position. But it is running smoother, which is fine. And it's not bad looking. And if there's a battle simulator, fine. But I'd expect a bit more movement from the guy. I died. There we go. Apparently. But yeah, very brief look at that. I can't comment too much. It's an incomplete game. It's not... I didn't really enjoy it. I don't feel like I think that I had enough background knowledge as to what I was doing. A bit unsure of the over-the-top graphics recommended hardware, but maybe that will get improved upon in that you can play it at a higher level if it's been developed a little bit more. But we'll see. I mean, there has got a bit of potential, but a long way to go. I just thought I'd show you it. I got a key for it. I have to show you it. It's worth me doing. I'll be interested to hear what you think of it just from that very brief look in the comments.